following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to The People's View, a program dedicated to discussing local, state, and national issues and their effect on the American people. The People's View provides a platform for state representatives and national figures to present their viewpoint. Whether it's social, economic, or financial topics, you'll hear it on The People's View.
Welcome to The People's View. I'm Kevin Avard, filling in for Carl Seidel and Pete Silver. And today I have a very special guest. I think he's been on the show a few times before. President of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Chris Williams.
Correct. Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, good evening.
Well, good evening. So you're going to be talking about something that's actually near and dear to my heart, and that's theater and music or entertainment.
Okay.
And as you can tell before camera, I was singing a little bit. You know, that's something I like to do.
Yep.
The Chamber is going to be, there's a few things going on in town that that bring the community together, something to do with the entertainment.
Yeah, we're right in the middle of summer
right
now that we're past the July 4th holiday. And we are cranking some new programming this summer that we piloted last year and have really brought back this year and formalized in a really nice way for the community to really enjoy and celebrate. This programming relates to a couple of things taking place downtown this summer. One is a dinner and movie series. The other is a downtown music fest, which is a concert series.
Is that by the library by any chance?
No, it's right on Main Street.
Oh, wow.
Actually. Most people think of a chamber as a stodgy organization that's all about just doing business networking opportunities.
Right.
And we do a lot more than that here in this community. Specifically, our chamber does a whole lot more than your typical chamber does when it comes to putting together events and programs that help to really reinforce the fabric of the community and help to strengthen the vibrancy and the energy within the community. These two programs, the Dinner and Movie Series and the Downtown Music Fest, are really two solid examples of the type of work that we do to better improve the community vibrancy and energy. The Dinner and Movie Series is a series that we do 8 times through the course of this summer. Every other Wednesday.
Are we choosing the rainy days to do this by any chance?
You know, and I'll get to the rain days
Right.
in a second. Every other Wednesday, though, weather permitting,
Right.
you can show up with a friend, a work colleague, a guest, a significant other. You can show up at about 7 p.m. on East Pearl Street, and you can treat yourself to a full outdoor dinner and movie experience right on East Pearl Street itself. We literally shut down the street at around 5:30 p.m. We roll out tables and chairs and linens and glassware and menus, and you get seated by a hostess, and you, for the next couple of hours, can enjoy a full dinner and beverage service until dusk. And then once the sun sets, we put on the movie for the night.
Now, you're saying you close off East Pearl Street?
Correct.
Is that right by Villabanca, Alex's, all that?
Exactly. Yep. So for those watching who are familiar with Villabanca,
Yeah.
the Nashua Bank, Stella Blue, Unum's restaurant, that whole stretch of East Pearl Street, that's the one that gets shut down to traffic. And you show up and you're literally looking at an outdoor restaurant and cinema with a jumbo movie screen positioned right on the street.
Wow.
And enough seating for about 200 people to sit out there and enjoy a really nice dinner from one of those restaurants, either Villabanca or Stella Blue or Unum's.
Now, if you're going to park and you want to approach this, which way would you come at it? Where would you, how would you approach it? Which side of the street would you?
Sure. In Nashua downtown, you've got 2 parking garages that are very close to East Pearl Street, and they're free in the evening. You can park at the High Street parking garage, or you can park at the Elm Street parking garage next to City Hall.
Okay.
Both of them are within a block and a half.
And enjoy the
of
rest of the
venue.
city as you enter.
Exactly.
Right.
And this sort of a series is very unique to Nashua. You don't see this in any other community in the entire Northeast region. Now, we haven't found one other city that does this sort of a program where you literally shut down a downtown street, enjoy an outdoor dinner and restaurant cinema experience like we do.
Now, who provides the seating?
So the tables and chairs are donated by Christian Party Rental, a local Nashua business that does a lot of special events,
Right.
Equipment.
I've seen the trucks.
They're a great, great company, very good friends of the community and of the chamber, and they've been very gracious. Each time, 8 different times, they donate all those tables and chairs that need to be set up, and they drop them off, they pick them back up the next morning, and it's like they were never there.
I think I've seen them as far north as Andover, New Hampshire.
Probably. They go all over the place. Christian
Right.
Party Rental, even though it's based in Nashua, specifically it's in Hollis to get technical,
Right.
but their footprint definitely goes up to the Lakes region
Yep.
and down into Massachusetts. And they're a very hardy Nashua-based company that's been with the chamber and our community for a very long time. In addition to them, we have several other vendors. Our restaurants, provide all that restaurant, the food service, their menus, so they provide the staff time, they provide special menus, they help set up, break down at the end of the night. We have a fantastic company called Community Events, run by a local entrepreneur and close friend of mine, Chris Malloy, who actually provides all the video equipment and the screen and the staff to set that up and break it down at the end of the night. We have a linen company, Grand Linen, that actually, or
So it's
General
like
Linen.
one big restaurant outside.
It is. It's
Right.
it's like a Chunky's converted into outdoors.
How do
is
the
what it looks
restaurants
like.
work with each other on that?
Well, we sit down with them before all the series begins, and we map out a schedule, and then we assign one restaurant per movie night. So if you show up on one night, you may get exclusive food and beverage service from Villablanca. The next one, it might all be from Stella Blue. The
Right.
next one from Unum's, and we rotate through that. So at least 3 times over the course of the summer, you can show up and get food and beverages from Villablanca. At least 3 times you can get the same from Stella Blue. At least 2 times you can get it from Unum's.
So now you get the fine dining. What's the movie about?
So we choose 8 different movies that we think will appeal to a broad audience. The movies we've shown thus far are Ferris Bueller's Day Off. We've shown Sex and the City. Our next one coming up will be Old School, starring Will Ferrell. That's an early 2000s comedy. We have When Harry Met Sally coming up in a couple of weeks. Caddyshack is another one that we're showing this summer. We're also doing The Graduate, a nice 60s classic film. And then we're going to end the season in September with The Breakfast Club. So pretty much no matter what your movie taste is,
Right.
whether you're a young 20-something who likes Old School, or whether you're a 30-something like me who grew up with Ferris Bueller and The
Right.
Breakfast Club, or maybe you're someone who liked The Graduate or When Harry Met Sally. When
So
those
I
movies
guess the
came
Lord
out.
of the Rings trilogy's out, right? Or
That's probably out. I love the
Yeah,
series
yeah.
myself, but that's a pretty lengthy
Sure, I'm just
film and trilogy.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have to keep the films to within about an hour and a half to 2 hours at most, so that we can allow people to enjoy a nice evening, but still be able to break down all the equipment before midnight, get the street opened back up again to traffic.
So
and
was
such.
this all conceived at the chamber, or did the local businesses come together and say, "Hey, look, we got to think outside the box"?
Yeah, this is an initiative, an idea that was brainstormed by myself and my friend Chris Malloy of Community Events. I mentioned him just a few minutes ago. He provides all the movie equipment, the screen. His company is called Community Events. They put on large outdoor productions, private functions and such. And he and I appreciate a good cigar
Sure.
and scotch.
Right down the road.
And there have been many times where he and I will sit on the rooftop of Castro's downtown
Yep.
with a cigar and a glass of scotch, and we'll just sit there and think, what if we tried this, or what if we tried that? And this idea was born out of one of those conversations where we thought, what could we do to bring restaurants, outdoor movies, and downtown together in a big way that would help bring new energy and vibrancy to our community, bring some more arts and culture to the
Right.
community, but at the same time, be good business
Sure.
for the restaurants and other vendors that want to participate.
How has it gone over? It's
been fantastic.
Obviously, you're doing it again, but good turnout?
Yes, we are. The only thing that's hurt us so far this summer is the rain.
Yeah.
And the Bruins Stanley Cup playoffs, actually.
Sure.
Back in February and March when we were scheduling this, we had no idea that the Bruins would be in the playoffs. let alone get all the way to the finals. So 2 of the movie nights were on playoff games. So that hurt a little bit of turnout. And then just the rain has been really hard on us too. We do rain dates.
Yeah.
The movie nights are scheduled for every other Wednesday. So if it rains on one night when there's supposed to be a movie, we simply push it back the following week to what would normally be an off week and make that our makeup night.
Okay.
In fact, we had to do that last night. Last night, we were going to show a movie, and the rain just wiped us out.
Right.
So next Wednesday, that would be July 18th, I guess it would be. You can come out and enjoy
Fingers
the movie.
crossed.
Yep, exactly.
So there's another form of entertainment, which is the theater.
There is, yep. Actually, concerts.
Okay.
Yep, and actually, before I get into that, I do want to give a really good plug to Bellwether Community Credit Union. They are a local credit union here, based in Manchester, but with a large branch right off of Exit 8 in Nashua.
Off Amherst Street.
Yep, exactly, right on Amherst,
Right,
close
yep.
to the Crown Plaza
Yes.
Hotel. They are the presenting sponsor for that movie series.
Oh, nice.
Their financial support helps to make that whole series possible. And having a nice community-based credit union like Bellwether is a huge benefit to us to be able to make that sort of programming possible.
Right.
The concert series is the Downtown Music Fest, and that is presented by Auto Fair, a new business in town, which maybe we'll touch on later
Sure.
in the program. So the Downtown Music Fest is a cousin to the Dinner and Movie series. So whereas the 8 movie nights take place on Wednesday evenings over the course of the whole summer, the cousin to that is this music concert series that we do 3 times over the summer. And through this series, we choose one Saturday in June, one Saturday in July, and one in August. And we take over the entire parking lot at Sovereign Bank, located right next to City Hall.
Right.
And we convert that parking lot into an outdoor concert venue. We set up a big stage, banners, a beer tent, sausage vendor, tents, and you can show up at about 6 p.m. on those Saturday evenings and treat yourself to a concert that's only $5 to get in. And so that's a really cool community.
Or you listen
building.
from afar off, or it's outside, right?
It is outdoors. The acoustics of the parking lot, the way it's set up, you're definitely better off to be in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the music really just kind of deadens
right.
as soon as it gets out of that parking lot.
So who's playing?
So we just did our first concert in June. We had an 80s theme, and we had a couple different bands that night. The first one, the opening band, is called Orange Crush. They're out of the Springfield, Mass, Connecticut border area. They came up and did a whole variety of cover songs, all your big hits from the 80s. They were
Sure.
fantastic. They got the crowd all warmed up. And then the headliner for that night came on at about 8:45. The headliner band was a group called the Aero Chicks, all-female Aerosmith tribute band out of Boston. They
Interesting. Yeah.
ripped it up. They were awesome. I mean, imagine, a band of women getting up there and the lead singer singing "Dude Looks Like a Lady," and she actually does.
Yeah,
It was a really cool concert that we were able to put together through our friends Auto Fair. Bellavance Beverages, a great beer distributor here in Nashua, provided the beer tent for the event. Bellwether Community Credit Union is also involved in that series, actually. But that concert series is just another great way for people to realize that Nashua is a great place for downtown dining, a great place for downtown shopping, and, by the way, it's also a great place for downtown entertainment.
Right.
You can show up, have a great meal, go window shopping, buy a dress, buy a necklace downtown, and then that evening, enjoy a great concert.
Now, I think Fody's offers entertainment.
They sure do. They do live music quite a bit, yes.
I think
You got Peddler's Daughter
Peddler's
does live
Daughter.
music. Mackenzie's does live music as
Mackenzie's,
well.
I know,
Amsterdam Bar and Lounge does it.
and one that you had already named right next to Billabonca's.
Stella Blue.
Stella Blues.
Yep, occasionally they'll have an acoustic performer as well. Yeah.
So we're not wanting for entertainment
No.
downtown.
The next concert in this music series will be next Saturday, July 20th, and we're doing a country theme for that concert.
Okay.
One of my favorite local regional bands is coming in, Jackie and Fried Cactus.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jody and Fried Cactus are coming in to help headline that particular event. So for any country music fans out there, downtown Nashua is the place to be,
interesting.
July 20th. Yeah.
And then, of course, there's another one that.
Yep, in August.
Right.
August 17, that'll be the last of the 3 concerts this summer. And that one's going to be a Jimmy Buffett / beach party.
Oh, the Parrot Heads,
theme.
right.
Absolutely.
Getting ready for their vacation.
Yeah,
a
we
few
got a
months up the road.
great Jimmy Buffett cover band hooked up for that one. So again, for people who haven't visited downtown Nashua in a while, you really should get out and see what's going on. It's a whole different place.
So tell us a little bit about some of the success stories. Are there people move in, they want to start a business. Do they want to get involved with the chamber right away?
Yeah, our chamber, there are 64 chambers in New Hampshire. People often don't realize there are that many of them, but there are. Out of those 64, our chamber is quite unique in the types of programming that we put on, the scope of the programs and events that we do, and to be candid, the fun that we have at our events. You know, I've just been spending 15 minutes talking with you about movie nights and concerts. Most people, when they think of a chamber, you know, they think of a lot of, you know, men in stuffed suits, you know, sipping cocktails and networking with each other, whatever that means. But we go far above and beyond that with our programs. And one of the feathers in our cap compared to many chambers is our government relations work that we do both at City Hall and up in Concord. Our chamber has a very strong reputation for effectively representing the interests of business, whether it be tax-related issues, workers, labor-related, employment-related issues, environmental, other regulations. Across the board, we have a very good and solid record of going into Concord, going into City Hall, and putting a very positive impression upon our elected officials about why it matters.
So you basically lobby on behalf of the businesses
we do.
in Nashua.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Any company in Nashua knows that they can call up our chamber if they're having an issue with regulations, with legislation, and they need some help navigating through that and figuring out how best to follow it or how best to redress it. They can call us up and we swing into action on their behalf. In fact, we're the only chamber that actually has a lobbying firm that we retain throughout the entire year for that sort of purpose.
Will you lobby for property rights or for insurance or?
All over the board, yep. There's probably not a type of issue where we have not been involved on it somehow before in our past.
Right.
And sometimes we go into action on behalf of a specific company. Sometimes we go into action on behalf of an entire industry. Other times we go into action on behalf of the entire business community, no matter what industry you're in.
Now, if you're a small little company, you know, you're paying a fee to be part of the chamber.
Correct.
And they have, say, a zoning issue. Do they have to pay extra for you to go in to talk to?
They do not.
The aldermen?
They do not. And that's why it's such a big benefit to a lot of small and mid-sized companies to join the chamber, because for $300 to $400, they're getting themselves a chamber along with its staff and its lobbying firm at their fingertips. And they're able to leverage our skills, our expertise, our experience on their behalf. And we've seen that happen many, many times with companies that realize, wow, that's a no-brainer in terms of investing several $100s and getting literally thousands upon thousands of dollars in return value for help with navigating various legislative issues and political stuff.
Right, yeah, and that's definitely, obviously, you've got to have somebody behind you and advocating for you if you're going to be in business, especially nowadays for some reason. It just seems like businesses are overwhelmed and they need resources.
A lot of businesses realize that it's one thing for them to walk in and sit down with an elected official and try and share with them concerns that they're having. And it's quite a different thing to have an entire chamber walk in on your behalf. A chamber that has a solid reputation and a long history with these officials, a good image in the community. When a chamber walks in and sits next to a business and talks to an elected official and says, here's the concern that they are having, we think it's a legitimate concern, that's a message that resonates with those elected officials because they know the chamber, they trust the chamber's reputation, and they trust the caliber of work that we do.
Right.
And many times that elected official may not necessarily know the business, but because the chamber is sitting there expressing their concerns, they're able to help that business.
Your ears to the ground. I mean, when it comes to new businesses. Now, are there new businesses in town that...
There are. There are. I know many people think, oh, the economy is still in the doldrums and nobody's doing well. And while some of that is true, I certainly don't want to give the wrong impression that we're out of this recession, because we're not. Right. However, there are positive things happening. I mentioned Auto Fair earlier as a
Yep.
supporter of this concert series. They're one of the new businesses in town. They opened a VW dealership.
Now, they have places up in Manchester from
They
what I-
do. They're headquartered in Manchester.
Right.
Yep. And they have been looking at Nashua for a while and decided, you know what, Nashua's got it going on. They're growing. Some new energies happening there.
Ask Tully Buick, they know.
Exactly. So, in fact, Tully Buick sold the VW dealership rights to Auto Fair.
Okay.
They were able to make a nice partnership there. So, Auto Fair is a new community partner here, not just with the Chamber, but with Nashua in general,
Right.
through a new VW dealership up on Route 101A. If people head out toward Milford in Amherst on 101A,
Yep.
they'll see right out there on their right is the VW dealership there, in tandem with the Harley-Davidson dealership that's out there.
Yep. Well, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Welcome to Nashua.
We have a new bank coming into Nashua. Enterprise Bank is opening a new branch right in downtown on Main Street. They're going to be opening that up somewhere in the late fall, I believe, is when that'll actually open its doors. And that's always a good sign
Yeah.
when you see a new banking institution.
They must like the
opening a branch.
sidewalks.
You know what? Maybe so. The sidewalks in front of that building haven't been done yet.
Well,
but
they're probably seeing a trend, right? Who knows? Well,
Yeah.
they're looking good. So,
yeah, and they are. The sidewalks are looking great.
Mm-hmm.
I have spent a lot of time talking to business owners, both your small family-owned businesses and some of your larger companies downtown. And by the way, I do so without a TV camera next to me, without a news reporter, without an elected official standing next to me. So these business owners can feel comfortable, telling me what's really on their minds
Oh, sure.
with the Downtown Improvement Project. And almost every one of them, to a T, agrees that this is a good thing for
it's
downtown.
looking, it is very inviting.
It
you
is.
know.
It looks fantastic.
I'm
Yep.
sure, now, I can remember Aubuchon's. They've been there forever.
Yes.
They're one of the old, when I went to Temple Street Elementary School.
Okay.
Years ago. This is way before you were born,
Okay.
actually. I'm 20 years older than
We
you.
won't talk about
I'm
that.
an old guy. But, I'm sure that they like to see these improvements as well,
They do.
And that's a small business in town that definitely, every time I go in there, if it's just for a screw, it's, hey, congratulations for hanging in there and being there, and just they're a staple of the community. Alex is, and
Yeah.
I could roll off a bunch
Yeah,
of names.
Persian Rug Gallery, Martha's Exchange, the Sconces Jewelry Shop.
Francis, yeah. I sat
Like-
next to her in the Capitol, by the way.
Did
Lisa,
you?
yes.
Oh, Lisa, okay.
Actually,
sure.
Representative John Burt and I, we sandwiched her, and we doing this a lot.
But trying to get each other to vote the right way.
Yeah, well, we told her how to vote. She had none of it.
No, yeah, if you know Lisa, she probably voted quite independently on her own.
Absolutely, she did,
Yeah.
actually.
But,
It was
you look
fun.
at all these family-owned businesses that are downtown that have been there for multiple generations, and they like what they see with these improvements. They are painful. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is tough, to watch the trees come down and watch the bricks get replaced. But at the end of the day, it does look beautiful, and it opens up these sidewalks in a new way. And the businesses, all of them, again, almost to a person, agree that this is a positive thing for our downtown.
If not now, when?
Exactly.
And you want to, you can look all over the state where downtowns seem to be, they don't look so good. I think we're doing better than, I'm not going to say, but there are other towns that I think we're looking better, and
Yep.
it's inviting.
It is.
And you're competing with the malls, and the local businesses are the fabric of our town. So, any other small businesses that?
Yeah, I'm just even going down to like tiny hair salons. We
Right.
just had Envy Hair Salon do a ribbon cutting on Main Street as well. In fact, they're literally right below my office. We're up on the top floor of the Oddfellows building, which is the same building as Senator Kelly Ayotte's office in Nashua.
Yep.
Right next door to us is the Envy Hair Salon, which is great. Friendly gals in there. You can almost always get a walk-in, although I do suggest calling ahead. They're starting to get pretty
Right.
busy. But that's another example of a really nice local small business opening up here over the last month as well. So some good things.
Well, congratulations to
happening.
them all. Any other final thoughts that you want to leave with our
Well,
guests?
it's just nice to be able to be here and talk with your viewers about what's happening, because I often am so stuck in the middle of all this, in the weeds. It's nice to be able to sit back and look at it from a macro level and and help kind of show how all this is important to really building the spirit of our community, and really showing all of us who live here in Nashua and work that there are some really cool things happening once we stop, take a breath, and look around us. And your viewers will be excited to know that come this fall, there's going to be a huge unveiling of a new brand for the City of Nashua and the Chamber. Our city's been around for over 200 years, and we have never really thought about how we are perceived as a brand. And in today's macro global economy, where everything you do is online and can be seen and viewed by people all over the world without you even knowing that they're checking you out, it's important for the Chamber and the city and other key stakeholders to be saying the same thing, being on the same page with each other about how we're promoting Nashua as a place to move a company, take a job, bring your family, start a life.
Right.
And we're doing that through this brand initiative that we're going to be unveiling later this fall. So stay tuned for a really exciting launch event come this fall, where we'll show what this new brand looks like, what's the new logo, what's the new tagline, and how does that collaborate with a whole new brand, logo, and tagline for the Chamber at the same time.
Which will not take away from the Gate City.
The
correct?
Gate City is a nickname Nashua has long had.
Right.
That will never go away.
Right.
But the Gate City is not necessarily a brand, it's a nickname.
Right.
Yeah, what we're talking about really is a brand that says, here's what Nashua is all about when it comes to doing business.
I bring that up because the people who like Gate City, they're going to hang on to
Absolutely.
that. You can do that.
Yes.
That's still part of us.
As someone who moved to Nashua about 7 years ago and loves Nashua and considers this my home for the rest of my life, I wouldn't want to see the Gate City go away as our nickname.
Right.
That being said, there are ways that we can brand the city when you're out there talking to businesses and business leaders, that the Gate City isn't the right way to attract them here, but this new brand is. But the Gate City will always be in all of our hearts.
We do have a lot of nice things in it. We have just about every aspect that a really vibrant city needs to grow.
Absolutely.
Except for the big, tall buildings, and I don't think we necessarily need those just yet.
We've got a whole mill yard we can focus on redeveloping for the moment.
Yeah, this is a little plug, whatever. How do people get in touch with you?
Well, anyone can reach me via email, cwilliams@nashuachamber.com. And if they don't remember that, they can simply Google Nashua Chamber, which will take them to our website. We're getting a whole new website in the fall, along with this new brand. So if they go to our website right now, just a little disclaimer, it's a work in progress.
Sure.
But be patient with us in the fall, a whole new, very social media friendly website, a mobile friendly website will be out there. But I simply say for now, you can go to the website to get my name and email address there if they want to send a message or if they have an idea they want to pitch.
Right.
We're always open to hearing that.
Wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you, Kevin.
And we look forward to seeing you again. And,
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll see you at one of our movies or one of our concerts. Maybe we'll even have you on stage since you like singing.
Thanks for asking. You heard it, folks. All right. Well, today's show has been sponsored by the New Hampshire Republican City Committee, and you can reach us at the NewHampshireGOP.com. So thank you for watching The People's View, and thank you, Carl and Pete, for letting me fill in for you. I know that you're probably out fishing or doing something really important right now. So anyway, until next week, thanks for watching.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.